Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates, coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kittiac Beach, North Carolina. Sorry I'm having to adjust this camera here, guys. Anyway, we're live here on the air, coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kittiac Beach, North Carolina. I want to apologize for having to come on the air so late. We had problems connecting to the YouTube server. We connected over and over and over again. I don't know how many times we tried connecting, but it just would not connect. And as a result, I fought it in order to bring this show to you tonight. The first thing I want to talk about is hurricanes. Right now, out here in the Caribbean, in the Atlantic Ocean, coming up from the Caribbean area, over Bermuda, out into Puerto Rico, and over into Florida. We do have a tropical storm. This may solidify. Right now, we do not have an eye of the storm. We do not have an absolute eye of the storm. It's completely disorganized. This is a tropical storm. This will probably turn into a hurricane. This could turn into a hurricane after it goes over land in Florida. Right now, southern Florida and the Florida Keys are seeing rainfall and other storm-related damage as a result of this storm. You can see it here. It's a big deal. The orange and red areas of this storm are thunderstorms. These thunderstorms, as we've told you in the past, turn into tornadoes. They throw off tornadoes. Really bad thunderstorms. But we're here. Okay? We're showing this live. Dustin Keglig says we're worried about you not coming on. I'm sorry. Okay? I am here. But I want to show you this because it's important. Now you see this other storm just south of Florida. This is entering the Gulf of Mexico. This also could turn into this area's first hurricane. We will be watching this slowly in the next couple days to see what happens. But this storm could be the first hurricane coming into the Gulf of Mexico. But Florida needs to batten down the hatches right now for this other storm that's coming in. NCWQ just gave us a $2 super chat. Thank you so much, Becky. We appreciate it. God bless you for that. I'm also giving Becky an EMA sticker here on our super chat. Thank you so much for that. I'm also giving you your first like here on the super chat. Folks, give Becky a like. She deserves it. Also, folks, if you enjoy what we do for you here on Emergency Management Associates, also give us a like. Okay? We'd appreciate it. Hit that like button furiously. The like button and the amount of time you spend here watching our program, and let's see, the length of time you come on and watch this program, and the likes go into the analytical factor where YouTube uses that to decide whether they're going to allow other people on YouTube to see this. So please hit that like heavy. Stay here on the channel. If you only are here a few minutes, it's not going to do you any good. It's also not going to do the channel any good. Stay here and watch this program. Okay? 10 or 15 minutes isn't going to hurt you, but it will also not give you the information you need to take away from what we have to say. Everything we have to say may affect you. It may affect you. The reason we are here is to get you prepared for emergency situations that are going to happen. And this storm is going to happen. First, this other storm that's still in the Atlantic Ocean is going to push ashore right into Florida. I promise you that. The storm that's just south and west of that is pushing into the Gulf of Mexico, and that will probably turn into this area's first hurricane, the first hurricane of the season. So please watch this. Watch what's going on. It's very important for you. Also, let me tell you about something else. Right now, warning sirens are sounding in Israel, northern Israel, because Hezbollah from Lebanon is sending rockets in Israel. The Israeli military said they are amid heightened alert. They're amid a heightened alert over the possibility of retaliatory strikes from Hezbollah following the assassination of a senior military commander this past weekend. And Israel acknowledged that they took out that senior military commander. And Iran is also in on this. Iran is meeting right now as we speak to decide what retaliatory strikes that Iran will take. Okay? But the Israeli media has reported interceptions from the Iron Dome air defenses. The Iron Dome air defenses came from the United States of America. We have military and armed forces on the ground in Israel helping to operate the Iron Dome, making sure that these rocket attacks don't hit civilians. Okay? The Iron Dome defenses over the western Galilee area. But it's not immediately clear right now whether the strikes represent an escalation from the near daily exchange of fire that's been going on for months. Okay? It's been going on for a long time. But we expect this kind of retaliatory strikes to continue. Lebanon has not hardly stopped attacking Israel for a long time. Neither has Hamas down in Gaza. Okay? So this is probably going on. Demon Catman says people are evacuating Israel in their thousands. That doesn't surprise me. But everybody in Israel needs to brace for incoming missiles. It's going to happen. Hopefully the Iron Dome will stand and withstand what Hezbollah is throwing at them. But again, we have to also watch out for Iran, because Iran has said that they're going to attack again. They have been attacking. They have been over in Gaza providing missiles and other things for the Hamas terrorists to throw at Israel. Okay? They're also working on the other side, on the north, with Hezbollah in Lebanon. Okay? That's happening. That is definitely happening. Now, we will provide more information as we get it. Demon Catman says we're a little quiet here. I hope that's not going to continue. Hold on a second. Let me see what's happening here. Okay, we're raising our volume right here as we speak. I don't understand why it went down that far. Yes, audio here. My wife shouted from the other room, audio? Yes, my audio. I don't know why audio went down here. We have a good microphone here, and we continue. I'm working on this now, raising up the volume levels to make sure that we're here. Angela Miss said can't hear. My wife is saying she can hear me, but she's in the other room. Don Patoka says 1 by 5. That hopefully is going to raise up here in just a minute here. Testing 1, 2, 3. Test. We're still raising up the volume level here. I may just speak right directly into the microphone, and that might help also. Testing 1, 2, 3. Test. I want to raise the volume level up to where you're not going to have a problem hearing me at all. Demon Catman says now 5 by 5. I think I'll leave it alone at this point in time. I think I will leave this alone at this point in time. I appreciate you guys advising me about volume levels. We want to make sure that we're here for you, giving you the information you need, but if you can't hear it, that is a totally different story, and I'm sorry about that. Angel Miss says talk directly into the microphone. That's exactly what we're doing now. Thank you all for that. We appreciate it. Linda Cummings says she's turning up her volume. Thank you for that. I appreciate that as well. Now, I want to also point out some other things here. Okay? Peak Performance is the YouTube channel that has given us information about the shooting that happened in Pennsylvania about 4 weeks ago. Okay? What I want to show you now is very important. Okay? I'm going to try to play some audio for you to let you know what it means. But just here, over here on the left, you can see the three shots that came from the shooter, Thomas Matthew Crooks. The 3 shots on the left from Thomas Matthew Crooks. The other 5 to the right are unknown whether Matthew Crooks fired them. And I will play audio for you in just a second. The 9th shot on the far right came from a sniper taking out the shooter. The 9th shot on the far right is the firearm that took out the shooter. Now this is important. For why? For why? Because so far the U.S. Secret Service has been lying about everything. They have not been telling the truth about anything. Nothing. Nothing at all. They're trying to say that nothing happened. They're trying to make it seem like nothing's going on. But we know darn well it is. It has been going on for some time. Now, let me see if I can find this one. Yes, I have. Please listen to these shots as they're being fired. Okay? Again, this came from a video called, actually the creator's called Peak Prosperity. This man is an expert on audio when it comes to shooting. He shoots himself, not at himself, but he shoots firearms himself. He's an expert. And he's an expert on audio quality. Watch and listen, actually listen to these shots as they go off.
I won't no more leading the witness. What do you hear?
Two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? I just played that for you. The first 3 shots you see laid out here on audio formation. Okay? The next 5 shots, it's unknown whether it's the same weapon. The experts don't know if it's even the same weapon that Crooks fired with. The Secret Service said there were 8 pieces of brass laying on the roof where Crooks was. Again, the Secret Service said there was 8 pieces of brass from the gun that Crooks used to shoot at President Trump. But only 3 confirmed shots. Only 3 confirmed shots that you just heard came from that gun. Dustin Kegley just gave us another $5 super chat. Thanks so much for that. I'm giving you an EMA sticker here, and I'm also giving you a thumbs up. I appreciate that, Dustin. It means a lot. He says, we appreciate your program, Ron. Thank you. But again, the Secret Service is denying anything but 8 shots. The 9th shot you heard came from the police sniper that was on another roof, taking out the gunman. But as we have told you, what has happened with the Secret Service is wrong. I played for you soundtracks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 9.
Okay.
Okay? That's what happened. The first 3 shots came from the gunman. The next 5 shots, it's unknown where those shots come from. Was it a second gunman? We think so. We think so. But the 9th shot came from the police sniper that took out the gunman, Thomas Matthew Crooks. But like I said, what's been happening? The Secret Service, and I played video feed for you earlier this week, showing you the testimony to the Senate from the deputy assistant director. Actually, not the deputy assistant. Well, actually, the deputy assistant was also there, but the acting director of the Secret Service, Ronald Rowe Jr. Agent Rowe lied to the Senate. Mr. Abate, his deputy director, also lied to the Senate. And they also said that they would give written word to the Senate, to the 4 congressmen that questioned them. They would give them written testimony. Written, meaning they weren't going to testify in front of open cameras. They are lying through their teeth. They are absolutely lying through their teeth. One, they didn't answer questions and refused to answer questions. I played those videos for you. They also refused to do anything but provide written testimony. That way they avoid talking to the public and bringing out to the public what happened. Now, with that said, I want to also say this. President Trump is in real trouble. If I was to inform the president right now, my information to him would be to hire his own security people, to vet his own security people, not to rely on the Secret Service. They can't be trusted. The Secret Service cannot be trusted. Now, this is my opinion only. You can take it or leave it. In my personal opinion, I believe it was a setup. I believe this entire thing was a setup. Demon Catman says we got quiet again. How's my volume now? Okay, I'm talking right directly into the microphone as my volume gotten lower, because I will raise it even up further here. Okay, I'm raising the volume up even higher here. I'm hoping that you're not going to have a problem hearing me. Pam Miller says it's still 5x5 her. I appreciate that, Pam. Thank you. Dustin Caglish says he hears me fine. I think what I'm going to do is just tilt this microphone over towards me so you can just hear me talking. So I'm talking directly into the microphone. I'm not trying to lean over one way or the other, trying to make sure my voice is heard. Don Patoka says volume is 4x5 now. Wanda Weber says it's 5x5 there. I think what I'm going to do, just one more time, I'm going to raise the volume up just a little bit further. I don't want to take the chance of not being able to get this message out tonight. What I have to say, I believe, is very important here. Don Patoka says it's better off to the side. Turn in towards you, Demon Catman says. I have the microphone directly in front of me now, so I'm hoping we're not going to have any more problem with volume here. At least I hope not. Okay. I hope it's a lot better now. Let's try that for the time being. Anyway, if I was President Trump, I would be hiring my own security people, because I don't believe the Secret Service can be trusted. I do not believe the Secret Service can be trusted at all. Nothing. Why? Because the FBI can also not be trusted. The FBI is supposed to be in charge of the investigation of the shooting. But we've also seen what the FBI has done in recent years. During the past 10 years, the FBI has shown it can't be trusted. Okay? Peter Strzok, the head of the FBI. He and Lisa Page were having an affair. Lisa Page asked him, and there's recordings of it, Lisa Page asked him if President Trump would get elected. Peter Strzok said definitely not. Definitely not. That shows you where the FBI is. And I don't think just because they got rid of Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, and by the way, the government just paid them off. Strzok just got over $1 million. Lisa Page just got over 800 some thousand. Unreal. That's what you get when you have these FBI people lying to your face. Saying one thing and lying to your face. Unreal. And it's not stopping. It's not stopping now, and it hasn't stopped ever. These people can't be trusted, and yet today the FBI is in charge of the investigation of the shooting of President Trump over in Butler, Pennsylvania. Sad. And what's even more sad is the police departments, the sheriff's office, and the Butler police departments that were there testified, and their testimony was almost in direct opposition to what the Secret Service said. Isn't that unreal? Unreal. The police department says one thing, and what they told the Senate and the Congress, the congressional representatives, the week before last, completely contradicts what the FBI said. Unreal. Uncaught and picking real. These people can't be trusted at all. Not at all. So we have the FBI. Okay? Under Director Ray. He needs to be fired. He absolutely needs to be fired. They've already fired Cheadle, who is the head of the Secret Service. And yet Roe is doing the same thing. And 2 congressmen from Monday said that Roe needs to be fired himself. Roe needs to be fired himself. It's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. This kind of stuff should not be happening. It should not ever happen. And yet it's doing it with full government approval. Biden has not said one darn word. Biden should have already said something about removing these people from office. They should be fired, and Harry Fodder says they should be fired and arrested. I totally agree. Secret Service Director Cheadle ought to be in jail right now. She should be in jail. It's my opinion. It's my opinion that all of these people have been in cahoots with Biden. The acting director, Mr. Rowe, Agent Rowe, said the Secret Service is not political. I call BS on that. I call absolutely BS on that. Knowing what Cheadle testified to last week, she's a liar. The Secret Service is political. It has been political for some time. And that's the reason I do not think we should be allowing Secret Service to get anywhere near President Trump. Yes, there are certain agents that are very loyal to Trump. But are all of them loyal? Are all of those agents loyal to President Trump? I have real suspicions they're not. I have very real suspicions they're not. It's sad. It's sad. This kind of thing should never have happened here in the U.S. Then, Cheadle gets fired. Ray is in charge of the investigation. He should be fired. Who's in charge of Ray? As I have explained for 2 weeks now, there is a hierarchy. The Homeland Security Department. The Homeland Security Department under Alejandro Mayorkas is in charge of everything. All federal law enforcement officers have to report to Mayorkas. Mayorkas should have been fired a long time ago. Homeland Security is from the top down evil. Now, I used to work for Homeland Security. There are a lot of fine officers that work for Homeland Security. When Obama came into power in 2009, he shrunk the federal law enforcement budget. He turned the federal law enforcement budget on its ear. 11 people including myself in the Area 8 region. Areas are divided throughout the United States as to FEMA region, to their FEMA region. 11 Homeland Security officers from Region 8 were terminated because Obama cut the federal budget. We were not fired, we were let go. There's a difference. They let us go because we were senior officers. We were some of the highest paid officers within Homeland Security. We were let go. I trained my replacement. I trained a new Homeland Security agent right out of the academy. The only reason I was able to train my own replacement is because I was a chief accident investigator. I was a chief accident investigator for Homeland Security for all federal law enforcement. Whenever there was a federal vehicle involved in any kind of accident, whether it's military or other federal vehicles, I had to investigate it. And even later, after they let me go, I had to also still investigate it. And when they called me to investigate an accident involving federal vehicles, they had to pay me. They actually had to pay me, guys. They sent me a check. But it was almost 2 years after Obama took office that I didn't get my federal law enforcement money as a result of my being let go. They did not give my final check to me until almost 2 years later. Unreal. This is another reason that what has been happening is wrong. And I'm not the only officer that's been through this. I'm not the only officer that's been through it. It's sad. It's horribly sad. But unfortunately, there's still a bunch of law enforcement agents all over this country that went through that same thing. I was only one of 11 officers in Region 8 that got let go. I'm sure there's at least 100, possibly 200 federal agents that were let go when I was. Okay? It's insane. It's insane. Yet we still have to do this. We still have to do this. And I'm still waiting for my federal law enforcement retirement. I'm still waiting for my federal law enforcement retirement. Because of Obama, federal law enforcement officers cannot retire until they're at least 67. I turned 68 last year. I should be receiving my federal law enforcement retirement. But because Obama and snafus with the government, I'm still not seeing it. I can sure use it. I'm sure other officers could also use it. Linda Cummings here in the chat says she doesn't even trust ATF either. I don't either. Federal law enforcement agents are not infallible. They're not infallible. There are federal officers, federal police officers. They're called federal police officers, by the way. They're GS-083. They come in under GS-083, federal police officers. There are other officers out there that are good. There are officers out there that are good. But there's also those that give us a bad name. All over the place. Literally all over the place. It's sad. It's sad. I've seen it happen and happen and happen over and over and over again. It's terrible. Now, yes, I have a little bit of a rant here. Actually, I have a lot of bit of rant. Okay? Because what has happened should never have happened at all. ATF officers raided a gun shop in National City, California about 5 years ago. They raided a gun shop in National City, California, which is a suburb of San Diego going south from San Diego. They raided it on a Saturday morning, early morning. They knocked the door down. They literally knocked the door down. The owner wasn't even there. He was not there yet the ATF knocked it down. How are they supposed to keep a gun shop secure when ATF agents, federal agents, knock a door down? Yeah, they had to post officers on the outside of the door until they could secure that building again. And all they were after was to get paperwork from the gun shop for guns that were bought through that store. That's all they were after. But they showed up with 8 federal agents knocking that door down. Now, I don't know whether that gun shop owner sued the ATF. They should have been sued. They absolutely should have been sued. It's insane. There are ATF agents that are bad. Exactly like Linda Covington said. They are. There are bad agents in every agency, whether they are federal agents or not. Every police department has bad people. I can guarantee it. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen in my agency. I've seen it happen in all police agencies all over San Diego and all over Denver. I've seen it. They need to be weeded out. Now, I mentioned Alejandro Mayorkas that is over Homeland Security. He should be terminated immediately. They should not wait for Biden to get thrown out of office in January next year to get rid of that man. When they finally do get rid of him, guess who should take over? In my opinion, Dan Bongino. Dan Bongino should come in as Secret Service. They should hire anybody that's better than the FBI agents that are presently in charge of the FBI. The person in charge of Homeland Security should be terminated immediately. Now, there are a list of people that should be brought in to take over these positions. And I agree with that list. I'll find that list and I'll share it with you. But somehow, some way, all this crap has got to stop. And it's got to stop immediately. Diane Kellman's here in the chat says she got laid off in July of 2019. She still has not received her unemployment or severance pay. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. It's terrible. Now, Sage Pup is here in the chat. I want to welcome him. He has not been here up until recently, and I appreciate Sage Pup very much. He's a very dear friend of mine. Sage Pup is here in the chat, said they started the litmus test on the military when Clinton was president. Yeah, I remember that. Then law enforcement during Obama's term. That's how they did it. And it's gotten worse and worse and worse. It's incredible. It's incredible. I don't agree with it. I will never agree with it. Now, something else I want to show you. I have a video here. This video came out of Alberta, Canada. Jasper, Alberta, Canada. Now, the reason I'm going to show this to you is because this town was destroyed by fire. Let me show you this video and you'll understand.
Oh, yeah. Okay, just match up with the gas. We may need one or two, so once I know, I'll let you know. Good, sounds good. Okay, thanks, Blake.
These fires are wildland fires.
What about the Nodwell perm? The Nodwell goes down to the Petrocan and just waits there. Alright, I'm on my way. Yeah, there's another water truck parked there, I think.
There's Mom and Dad's house.
I'm stepping away from the radio for about 5 minutes.
This all looks like Paradise, California. For those of you that watched the Campo fire, or the campfire, around Paradise, California a few years ago, this is exactly what it looks like. Fire destroyed Jasper, Alberta, Canada. Completely took it to the ground, literally. There's not much left here in Jasper, Alberta, Canada. Fires destroy everything, and they destroy everything completely. Okay? It's terrible. It's horrible. It's horrible. And yet, today, still, since last week when it started, the park fires continue to burn. Down here at the bottom is where it started, over near Chico, California. Up just over to the left-hand side is Paradise, California, where the campfire started here a few years ago, and it's going to burn again. As you see, that fire spread out as it burned to the north, spread out to the west and to the east, and it's still spreading. It's still spreading. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, let me go over here and quickly pull the number of acres that the fires destroyed. Let's see here. Oh, stupid thing. I know I should have had this for you before now. According to the Chico Enterprise record, which is the news rag from Chico, California. I shouldn't call it a news rag, but the newspaper said that the park fire has destroyed 389,791 acres. It's only 18% contained. 18% contained. Now, folks, this does not mean it's going to be put out anytime soon. 18% contained means that the fire departments have stopped the spread of the fire in certain areas. They've only stopped the spread of the fire in certain areas. Okay? 361 structures have been destroyed completely. There are still many evacuation orders still out there to protect the people. In the latest sign that the fire crews are starting to get an upper hand on many areas of the park fire. Butte County Sheriff Corey Honia said yesterday afternoon that several evacuation warnings have been lifted, and a few evacuation orders have been downgraded to warnings, including part of the Cohasset area. Evacuation orders in Zone 312A, 317B, and 253 from Cohasset Road west to Villas Road has been reduced to evacuation warnings. That's as of 3 p.m. yesterday at the media briefing. Honus, the sheriff's officer, the sheriff in charge of the department, has said that they are still urging residents to be cautious upon returning to their homes, and said that non-residents need to stay completely away out of the area. If you don't live in the area, stay out. Evacuation orders have also been lifted in zones 312B, 317A, 273, and 318 in North Chico. With damage inspection teams having completed 75% of their assessments, CAL FIRE said 361 structures have been destroyed and 36 damaged by the week-old fire. That fire now stands, like I said, 389,791 acres, the fifth largest in the history of California. The fifth largest in the history of California. Fire Incident Commander Billy C. said 68% of the structures inspected in the fire zone within Butte County have survived without damage. 60% of the structures in Butte County have survived without damage. There have been no fatalities or injuries reported from the fire, which remains at 18% containment. Operations Section Chief Mark Brunton said that the past 24 hours have generally been very positive, as firefighters have limited the spread to around 5,000 acres, most of it in the northeast corner of the Tehama County fire area. So they've limited the fire to only having consumed 5,000 acres. They're getting some kind of hand on it. The west line in Butte County remains solid, and Highway 32 heel is looking really good. There is steep, rugged terrain that still has made the time-consuming work of fighting this fire very dangerous. Near Highway 36. The firefighters are doing a very good job in that area. Additional contingency lines are being put in place to protect the community of Mineral. One trouble spot remains near Mill Creek Drainage. Okay? It's an area that's still layered with thick smoke, and that smoke has hampered greatly the ability to get in there and fight the fire. They can't fly aircraft into that smoke. It's not efficient to fly aircraft in that smoke. They've already lost one firefighting plane as a result of that pilot flying into the smoke to make their drop. Temperatures in the area are also expected to continue to get warmer this week. There is a chance of thunderstorms in the foothills and the mountains. But there still remains a potential increase in fire behavior in the areas where the temperature is going to rise. Because that area is going to help, that heat is going to help that acreage dry out. All that underbrush and weeds and stuff and grass are going to dry out with the fire heat burning and also the heat of the day. So they're also going to have a lot of problems getting in there and taking care of it if the heat of the day warms up. As of yesterday morning, there has been 5,779 personnel working on the fire, along with 40 helicopters, 519 engine companies, 180 bulldozers, 115 water tenders, and 112 hand crews. That's wonderful news for that area. We still hope and pray that those people get out of there without any further injuries or deaths. The last thing we want to hear is fatalities as a result of that fire. Does anybody have any questions about the park fire? Okay? As of yesterday, the fire is still racing towards Mount Lassen, and they evacuated the National Forest personnel out of the Mount Lassen fire area. They completely pulled them out as of yesterday. Don Patogan is one of my best friends. He's a wonderful man. He's a mod on our channel here. He says your evidence, pictures, and information are important, and I agree, guys. If any of you have stories, any of you have evidence about anything going on, including with the Trump investigation, the shooting investigation, and the fires or anything else, please email that information to me, and I will look it over, and anything that I vet is going to get put on the air. I promise you that. Harry Fodder's asking, when does this madness stop? As I reported to you yesterday, the park fire was an arsonist. The park fire was caused by an arsonist. He'd had 2 previous felonies on him. He pushed his mother's car, which was on fire, into a gully outside of Chico that started this fire. He's now in custody. Space Potato is asking, is Paradise and Maglia safe? I don't think so. Is it burned out on that part? I don't think so yet. But it's not safe either. That fire is racing into that area, I've been told. The park fire is racing into that area. My opinion is anybody living in that area needs to evacuate, or if they are not under present orders, to think about evacuating before they're forced. Don't wait till you're told to leave right now, because you might not find your way out of there safely. Leave while the getting's good. Leave while the getting's good. I told you the story of my former brother-in-law that would not leave over in Utah. He didn't want to leave. A sheriff's deputy came by and threatened him with arrest. I was an emergency manager. And after I finally got him out of there, and I was leaving the fire area, I was stopped again at the command post, and I stayed on that command post for another 24 hours after that. Yes, I have experience on wildland fires. I have experience with all kinds of drills around the country. Earthquake, hurricane drills. I've all done it. We've done drills on fires. We have done drills on hurricanes. We have done drills on snow. Yes, we've done drills when it comes to snowfall. We've done all kinds of flood-related drills as well. Literally all over this country. And some of my friends are still doing them. It's crazy. Demon Catman says, darn ad just popped over again over the chat. I'm sorry about that. Unfortunately, I can't stop these ads. YouTube just does that. Cowboy Roy Rogers is also here in the chat, and I appreciate you being here. Please also check multiple resources for evacuation routes. I agree. Check your evacuation routes. Okay? We've seen it happen in the Paradise fire. We've seen it happen now. Evacuation routes are right through the fire lines. Some people that are evacuating have to drive right through flames covering the roadway. Check for landslides as well, Linda Covington says. I agree. Make sure you're taking the best evacuation routes. Check your maps. You might not also be able to rely on your Google Maps on your phones. If your area is covered by flames and smoke, you're not going to have contact with the satellites. check out your evacuation routes for safety. Like I said, it's better to get out before you have to. That way you have your choice of evacuation routes, number one, but you also are not going to be hampered by slow traffic. Slow traffic could get your car burned and you burned as well. Don't do that. Get out while the getting's good. Get out before you're being forced out. Take your pets with you. Make sure you have your emergency preparedness kits as well. Make sure you have plans on what you're going to take and what you're going to do. When there is an emergency happening, you're not going to be of right mind and not going to understand what you need to have and what you don't need to have. Make sure you have these plans written out. That's why I keep talking about emergency preparedness plans. You need to know that. You need to know that. Don't forget that. I would hate for anybody to be caught in a fire and lose their life. That happened at the campfire over near Paradise before. I don't want to ever see it happen again. That's why I keep talking about this. Space Potato says, oh gee, just looked at the map and that fire's racing towards Maglia. I'm sorry to hear that. That fire is still out of control. If that fire is racing towards you, get out. Get out now. Don't wait to be forced to evacuate. Get out now. Take your pets with you. Those of you that own acreages, try to get your animals out as well. Don't even let your animals burn. That's probably one of the most horrible deaths anybody could imagine. Don't let your animals die by burning. Don't let them do that. If you have pets, take them with you, just as you would your own children. Those pets are your children. Make sure you have pet food. Make sure you have their favorite blanket or their bed. Make sure you have sleeping bags for your children and yourselves, and your pillows. Make sure you have food and clothing with you as well as medical kits, first aid kits. Make sure you have your medical items with you, whether it be Tylenol or some kind of aspirin or ibuprofen or even insulin. Make sure you take your medications with you. Okay? Don't wait until it's too late and you forget. Don Patoka is also saying here in the chat now, knowledge will not save your life unless you put it into action. Joel Skousen said that. Joel Skousen is one of the most knowledgeable people I know. He's written books on this. He's written books on it. Does anybody have any questions about anything I've said so far? Don Patoga says, Linda Covington, many insurance companies have left California. They absolutely have. One, they can't handle earthquakes. Many of them have stopped covering earthquakes. They've stopped covering fires. They don't want to be saddled with policies when it comes to fires. Too many fires are burning. Every year. Too many fires are burning. There was one fire. Actually, it wasn't just one. When I lived in San Diego, there were several fires then. And even after I moved to Salt Lake City, there were still fires in San Diego. Very bad fires. Very, very bad fires. One came into San Diego City. It burned acreage in San Diego City. People had to evacuate their homes in San Diego City. A lot of the times, fires came into areas like Poway, California on the north side of San Diego County. Burned a lot of homes. They burned friends of mine homes in Poway, California. Scripps Ranch in North San Diego County as well. People lost their homes. Escondido, California. out in northeast San Diego County. Palo Indian Reservation was burned. Palomar Mountain acreage was burned as well. They almost had to evacuate the Palomar Mountain Observatory. Unreal. Watch what you're doing, guys. Please, if you live in fire-prone areas, make sure your areas around your homes and your buildings have been cut back. Make sure all that area is weed-free. Make sure you have sprinkler systems. Before you leave your home, if you've got an evacuation pending, water down your roof. Water down your roof. Spray it heavily. Water down your grass. That will help your house be saved from fire. That will help you save your house from fire. Water down your grass heavily and water down the roof of your house before you leave. But don't wait to leave. Do this before you're being forced to leave. That's why I ask all of you, leave before you're forced to leave. Okay? This is absolutely important. You can't forget this. Your lives depend on it. You and your family's lives depend on it. Sweet Polly Purebred says she's listening in, folks. She's pooped out. I totally get that. For a while tonight, I was almost getting to the point, because I had been kicked off trying to get in here to do a program. I've been kicked off so many times, it wasn't funny, but I finally got in. Diane Cummings says, please pray for our California brothers and sisters and their pets. I agree. I totally agree. Kathy Payena from Hawaii is here. Thanks for being here, Kathy. We appreciate you. Please, guys, take care of yourselves. Again, we keep talking about emergency preparedness. There's a reason for it. Everybody needs to remember this. Make sure you have an emergency preparedness plan. With that plan, make sure you have your emergency preparedness kit. Make sure you have water. Make sure you have a first aid kit as well. Make sure you're ready to go with clothes, sleeping bags, pillows, your pets' pillows, their toys, and beds. Don't forget this. Don't forget this. Kathy says, Ron, we love you. I love you too. Please, guys, make sure you got this. Linda Cummings says, water pressure is non-existent during fires. That's why it's so important to make sure you water down your grass and your home long time before the fire reaches your area, when you still have pressure. Water down your home and water down the grass surrounding your home. That is one thing that might help save your home. I've seen it before. I've seen it before. Now, I want to tell you about a tropical storm that may turn into a hurricane. This is off the coast of Mexico right now. It's not moving northward. It's moving westward. Now, I'm going to enlarge this so you can see it even better. This is Tropical Storm Carlotta. It's now passing southwest of Socorro Island. Now, let me enlarge this so you can truly see the cone of uncertainty here. It's moving out to sea, out into the Pacific. But right now, it's off the coast of Mexico here. 2 p.m. to Thursday today. 2 p.m. Thursday afternoon, it was right here in the Pacific. It's moving into a westerly direction. By Friday, it will probably have moved about 400 or 500 miles to the west. By Saturday at 11 a.m., it will move another 400 or 500 miles out to the western Pacific. Or out towards the, actually not the western Pacific, it'll still be in the eastern Pacific, but it'll be moving westbound. Tuesday of next week, it will be way out here. We will be following this storm, and I believe it will turn into a hurricane within the next few days. We'll be following Tropical Storm Carlotta, until it does turn into a hurricane, and then we will update you as to what has happened after that. We'll keep our eye on it. Some of these storms turn. Some of these storms do turn. And it could turn to the south or it could turn to the north. We'll keep you up on this. We have seen tropical storms down here in the Pacific, down off the coast of Mexico, and they've turned north and come into San Diego and Los Angeles. We've reported on those storms. Linda Covington says it's called a cyclone, and absolutely it is. Does anybody have any questions about Carlotta? There's actually two storms out here, two separate storms. Neither one of them are coming into land at all. Okay? Diane Cummings says sometimes your mic fades in and out. I hope it doesn't. Maybe I need to just speak directly into it like this and not turn my head. I hate it when it does that. Do any of you have any questions about anything we said so far? Okay? We have a lot of things going on. Now, before I leave tonight, I want to show you this. Sweet Polly Purebred just gave us another $5 super chat. Thanks for that, Polly. Appreciate that. I'm giving you an EMA sticker here, and I'm also giving you a thumbs up. Thank you for that. Also, those of you that are here, please give us a thumbs up before you leave. Okay? Again, your thumbs up and the amount of time and the number of people that watch this program figure into the analytical factor that YouTube uses to let anybody know on YouTube whether this program is good enough to follow. I would hope to shout it is. But all of you also can help me with that factor by watching this program through its finish and also thumbing up the program and also getting all the information you need in case you're also involved in one of these emergencies. It's important. But I want to show you this graphic here. Celebrating 50 years of change. JFK got shot and killed in November 22nd, I believe it was, 1963. Democrats. Back in the day, during the President Kennedy administration, the Democrat Party was good people. But Johnson, who was there as John F. Kennedy's running mate, was the vice president, and Johnson was evil. Johnson helped turn the party around where it was an evil entity. Turn it into a communist party, and that's where it is today. Now, it's not the individual people out here in the cities and towns of America that are communists, but the leaders are. They're destroying our country. Obama came into power in 2008. 2008, 2012, into 2016. One of the most horrible presidents that ever was. When he took over, he said he was going to transform America. And that's exactly what he and Biden have done. Destroyed this country. It's a Marxist communist country now. Unfortunately. The United Socialist States of America, it says here. What can your country do for you? It's not what our country can do for us. It's what we ourselves can do for our country. Folks, I love you. I care about you. That's why we do these programs. We try to give you information you need so you can prepare for what's happening. You can also help yourselves by making sure we elect leaders of good stature. We need to get rid of these communists in our country. We need to jail the communist, socialist leaders of our country, because otherwise they'll kill us. Otherwise, they will kill us. That's what they do best. Don Patoka says, oh, it is transformed. Yes, it is. It's horrible. It's horribly transformed. My votes have changed throughout the years, and when I tried to vote in 2012 to get away from Obama, things changed. They had control of the voting machines. They made sure Obama stayed in power. I didn't vote for him. I voted for the other guy. But their machines are under the communist control. We have to change that. We have to completely change that. Polly Purebred says, yes, indeed, the man is faithful to saving lives and contributes to his valuable time to save lives around the world. Pennies add up. God bless Ron and Carol. Yes, my wife Carol is a patriot. My wife Carol is a wonderful lady. She truly is. She's a great lady. And I owe the success of this channel to her. I owe all my success that I've ever had since we've been married, since 2017. I owe the success of myself to what she's done for me. She says I've done stuff for her. Yes, I have. But I owe my success to her. I actually owe the success of this channel also to her because she helps me. I could not do anything without her. And your help also is very valuable to me as well. You guys send me information. You guys help me on the air. You guys do a lot of things to help this channel. And I want to send you love and appreciation as well. Now, before I leave tonight, I want to go over to Ephesians. I'm starting over in Ephesians chapter 1. Over in Ephesians chapter 1, verse 8. And by grace are ye saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of God. The gift of God. Okay? Not of works, lest any man should boast. But, in verse 19, Ephesians 2:19 and 20. Now therefore ye are no more strangers and foreigners, but fellow citizens with the saints, and of the household of God. The household of God. The household of God is built upon the foundation of apostles and prophets. Jesus Christ himself being the chief cornerstone. What a deal. I have faith in Jesus Christ. If you don't already know that Jesus Christ is your Savior, I would suggest you look around you. Find out for yourself. Just as I read that scripture yesterday in Hebrews about faith. Exercising your faith and praying to ask God if what we're saying is not true. Ask Heavenly Father yourselves, is what Ron is teaching true? When you get that burning in your bosom, that overwhelming feeling, you're going to know it's true. You're going to know for a fact that it's true. Now, there are a couple other scriptures I want to share with you before we get out of here. Linda Covington says, shares the yoke. Yes, absolutely. Carol shares the yoke of this program. I couldn't do without her. We talked about prayer. Ephesians chapter 6, verses 18 and 19. Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints. And for me that utterance may be given unto me, that I may open my mouth boldly. That I may open my mouth boldly to make known the mystery of the gospel. Something that Glenn Beck taught me a long time ago. And I greatly appreciate what Glenn Beck told me. That we must proclaim the Word of God boldly. We must proclaim our faith boldly. We must stand up. We must stand up for what is right boldly. We can't just stand here. We can't just stand here with our faith and say, "Oh, God will bless me." We have to open our mouths. We have to open our mouths and proclaim the gospel of Jesus Christ. We need to open our mouths and teach other people the truth of God and the truth of our country. We need to stand up for what is right. Gordon B. Hinckley said, "Stand ye in holy places." Stand ye in holy places. I completely believe that. We need to stand in holy places. Please do that. Now, going over here in Ephesians chapter 6, I'm going to read you verses 14 through 17. This is important. This is vital to all of us. Starting down in verse 13. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God. In verse 11 it says, put on the whole armor of God, that ye may stand against the wiles of the devil. Put on the whole armor of God. Gird yourself with the whole armor of God. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of the world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. That's exactly what is going on with us here in our countries. It's not just the United States of America, it's all over the world. We're wrestling against wiles of the devil, wickedness in high places. Verse 13. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and have done all to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Your feet shod with the principle of the gospel of peace. Preparations, brothers and sisters. It says preparation. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. And take the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. Praying always with all power and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints. And for me, that utterance may be given unto me, that I may open my mouth boldly. B-O-L-D-L-Y. B-O-L-D-L-Y. That I may open my mouth boldly, to make known the mysteries of the gospel. That's what we're here for. That is exactly why we are here. Brothers and sisters, I know that to be a fact. Let's do that. Let's exercise our faith. Let's exercise our faith. Our faith will get us everywhere. Believe me, our faith will get us everywhere. My wife, Carol, is a wonderful lady. She has exercised her faith in me. She's exercised her faith in all of you. She's been here in the chat. She's helped you. She's helped others. She stands in holy places. She's a great mother. She's a great wife. She's my right arm. Brothers and sisters, I know the gospel of Jesus Christ is true. I know that the gospel of Jesus Christ is true. We haven't come these long distances for nothing. It is to save our souls. To save our souls. Brothers and sisters, it's getting late. It's already after 9 p.m. now. We haven't been here nearly 2 hours, but I don't want to either. If there's anything else that's going to happen, we will be back on the air to tell you about it as soon as the information becomes available. I promise you that. I promise you that. We love you. We care about you. As soon as any information other than what we told you becomes available, we will come back on the air tonight. Otherwise, we will be on the air tomorrow evening sometime after 6 p.m., maybe before. We will talk about the fires. We will talk about what's happening in Israel. We will talk more about what happened 4 weeks ago in Butler, Pennsylvania. As soon as we get more information, we will share it with you. I love you. I care about you. I appreciate your support. Tomorrow Carol and I are going to the post office to check our post office box. I am looking forward soon to getting more cards and letters from all of you. I'd really love that. I have saved every card and letter that you guys have ever sent me. I've got cards and letters in our closet over here, in a box in our closet. I've saved all of them. Your cards and letters mean a lot to me because I like to get cards and letters from you telling me how you're doing, how you're exercising your faith, how your faith is growing in God, with God, what you're doing as a family to help prepare yourselves for what's going to happen. I love hearing about that, or any other good things that I can share with all of you. Please do that. If you find it in your heart and you're able, please also send us a donation right in the middle of that letter or right down the middle of that card and send it to us. We'd really appreciate that as well. Brothers and sisters, we love you. We care about you. We always have and always will. I share my love with you. I share the gospel of Jesus Christ with you because I care. Diane Kelman says, please let Carol know that we love her as well for her sacrifice. Yes, she does sacrifice me and sacrifice for all of you. She's a great lady. Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate all of you. God be with you until we meet again. We will see you after everything's done. God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side. Good night, everybody. Much love.